What's up, YouTube? This is Josh with his very first Pokemon battle for YouTube. As you can see, I have a whole entire dragon team: Palkia, Giratina, Dialga, Reshiram, Zekrom, and oh, I can't remember the last one. Versus my one friend. His name is Antonio. And the battle will start right now. There's a reason why I've given this video this title, and you'll see why very shortly. And now the battle begins. I let my friend use his Genesect just because we were trying to do our favorite legendary Pokemon in a battle and see who would do better. And this is how it turned out. He starts off by taking away his Victini and sends out his Chiron. And now that battle actually begins. And he starts off with his Genesect using Flamethrower on my Dialga. Then, because he had a feeling that I was going to use Hydro Pump with my Palkia, which he was correct, so that was a smart move by him. Then I go with my Giratina, and I use Shadow Force. But then I have my Dialga use Aura Sphere on the Genesect, trying to do some massive damage, but he doesn't do that much. He tries to do a Blizzard, but he only gets my Palkia. And then I decided to play it safe and go with the Protect on my Palkia. I mean on my Dialga to play it safe. And I have my Palkia do Aura Sphere on the Chiron. Trying to see how much that would do. And that takes out the Chiron. As I said, this is my first Pokemon Wi-Fi battle, so then Giratina uses Shadow Force on Suicune. Almost takes him out. Takes him about halfway. Then he tries to go. Then he goes into Zekrom to go after my Palkia. Then I notice that he's doing that, so I go and switch out to my Reshiram. Then I call back my Giratina and set out my Chiron. But at this point, I decided to switch them all out, so I sent out. And so I went back in with my Dialga and I sent out my Zekrom. Because I knew I could not take another Flamethrower. So. But I get burned by. Oh crap, hold on. Then Zekrom uses that looked like Fusion Flare on Reshiram. Then Suicune decides to go for a Blizzard. But it only hits my but it almost takes out my Zekrom, but it doesn't. Then he tries to go after my Chiron with his Genesect with a Flamethrower. Then I go after him with an Aura Sphere. Wait, that was actually a Dragon Pulse. Then I go after Suicune with Zekrom with Bolt Strike. This has to be the longest battle I've had with my friends so far. And so right now, it's he takes out my Reshiram with his Zekrom. This is where everything started to go downhill for me. So I started to get a little nervous. So So I send back in my Dialga. And he sends out his Leon, I believe. So I decided to go for Protect with my Skyrim. Ah, crud. Then he has his Combleon. Use some Sacred Sword on my Dialga. Almost takes him out, but I still stay with his little smidgen. Then I tried to go for an Outrage with my Zekrom on Combleon, but Burn takes out my Zekrom, and he pretty much has his Zekrom do all the rest. Takes out the trash with my Dialga. So now all I have is my Giratina, my Kyurem, and my Palkia. This is where I started to get really nervous. So it was pretty neat on how this all rolled out. His Genesect's been in here for a long time, so I was thinking there was no way for this thing to go. But he makes the stupid play here and uses Simple Beam on my Giratina. But if he decides to go for he tries to attack me, then he has his Combleon use Iron Head on my Scullion, takes him out, which was all part of my plan. And then I decided to go for a Shadow Force. You know, Zekrom uses a Fusion Bolt. I have no idea why, but it almost takes out my Palkia, but it leaves him with just enough. But then my Palkia decides to use Special Ren on Zekrom, thinking that was the only thing that would stop me. So I decided to get rid of him first. He tries to use X Scissor on my Giratina, but my Giratina is not there because of Shadow Force. Then Giratina uses Shadow Force and takes out the Genesect. Then this is a Life Orb Giratina. Then he goes back into his Teeny, which then I decided to use Earth Power on the Combleon, and just leaves him with, I believe it was 2 HP. Then he goes for an X Scissor, leaves me with Palkia with 1 HP. How about that? But this is where everything goes haywire. I use Shadow Force again with Giratina. Palkia takes out Scumbleon. I'm sorry if I'm saying the names wrong. I'm a little nervous at the moment. Then I decided to use Shadow Force on Bikini, and that's the game. Link. I should be posting videos every once in a while, or whatever. But yeah, it was a fun match. Everything went according to plan, kind of. If you guys know any special tips on recording Pokemon battles, please be willing to message me or whatever. Do what you gotta do. Comment, subscribe, do your thing, and see you next time. Peace.